Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Derek and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 121. God, I hate my life of Flesh and Pod. My name is Logan. I am your host, and with me tonight is the prophet of production, the savior of sound, the I would say editor extraordinaire. We're going to go with that one. Greg Greiner, also known as Darth Prentice to the uninitiated. Greg, my friend, how are you?
You know, Logan, I am doing quite well. I would just want to say that I overwhelmingly admire all of your alliteration. So thank you for all of that.
I do my best. Alliteration is my favorite thing. We always had we had a bunch of friends, right, that were all English fucking nerds. And 54. Yeah. And so fucking English nerds, right? And so we all kind of had our thing. Like that thing that we loved the most. Mine was alliteration. My buddy Peter was portmanteaus. Dude cannot get enough of a good portmanteau. Another friend,
I love putting that candy in Coke as well. I'm also a fan of that.
Another one, my friend Josh, was all about onomatopoeia. Like that was his fucking thing. Giant Batman fan, so it kind of makes sense. But so yeah, as the whole English nerd part of me, that's one of my minors. I mean, might as well, right? But did you get up to anything this week? I mean, I got up to a bunch of shit. So
in terms of actually getting up to stuff, not much. One of the things that's on the docket that we're going to talk about is maybe the thing I did the most, and that was just weep over a recent announcement that happened. Besides that, I watched a lot of Pro Tour coverage, and that's about the extent of what I did in Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, I was in the room. I was in the room where it happened. And we'll just kind of jump right in. Pro Tour LA in the bag. I am not the biggest fan of Los Angeles just in general. But yeah, I will freely admit that it was a very well-run event. I would say that only one real thing didn't really go off without a hitch, but that was not, there was no organizational way to do it because they had I believe it was on Sunday. So they had the energy potion events, right?
Yeah.
And so only one energy potion event across the entire weekend, it would accept one of the Go Again package vouchers.
Okay.
And it was on Sunday, and it was a UPF draft. So you're already kind of up shit creek.
Yeah.
But then you make it that event that you can actually use the things you have for those events in. It was 518 people in a UPF draft. And they were forcing everybody to actually sit down and draft in order to get your energy potion. So you have these, but then as soon as you got done drafting, they would let you drop, which then made uneven pods.
Sure.
So then they had to repod everything. And it was just yep. That's the thing.
Really not a good way to do that. Whichever way you try and fry that egg, it's going to turn out poorly.
Yeah, there's no way to fuck that pig. And so you had I'm looking down the tables and there's Tarek Patel, Sasha Markovic, Pablo Pintor, all at this fucking draft, all on this UPF draft.
Right.
It's just yeah, I get it. Because they handed the pro players and stuff some vouchers or something, gave them to the commentators too, which made no sense. They had no time to ever use a goddamn voucher. Right. Why the fuck do they have vouchers? And so that turned into, that was the whole thing. Other than that event, I would say everything was run really, really well organized. Coverage was very good. I would actually say coverage was great, but there was a little thing missing in coverage, and that little thing is about 5'8" and goes by it may be a world-renowned author, and Flake, we missed you if you're listening. It was heartbreaking that you missed out on this.
Thanks, Obama.
Right, fucking guy. And but it was a great event still. Like I said, just that one mark, and then obviously, so Charmer, who's on assignment this week, Charmer offers up to say, hey, I'll cast your spot like on Saturday, and then that way, and then just you can still get paid for it or whatever. Right. As soon as he was willing to take on any burden to Flake, all of Flake's flight woes were then Charmer's.
Right.
As he was delayed in Chicago for like 37 hours.
Ugh.
Because American Airlines, right? Like there was the minor threat of a possibility of weather on the horizon someday. Mm-hmm. And so they just grounded and canceled everything.
Right. Makes
sense. And then, and it's not just him, it was him and Sophie and the kids. And so you can't rebook one seat. You can't just take that one seat that's left on a standby on a flight. You need 4.
Unless you want to really lean into the I don't care about my family angle, but that's not
his. Yeah, that's not his bag, man.
As much as I would love to kick the shit out of him while they're not here.
That's definitely not Charmer. And even to the point that they got into LA late Saturday night, and then they did Disney Adventure on Sunday. And he was going to actually try to find time to come out to dinner with us. But the kids were wiped. Sophia was wiped. And at that point, like with Sophia being down, and then he felt really guilty about leaving the kids with just Soph. And so he just didn't make it out at all. Yeah. And so, I feel for him on that, but I did continue to rub it in a little bit with, hey, here's a picture of me and Easier just hanging out. Like, how does that feel? Or, hey, I have your artist proof. I have your artist proof in, that you got from Easier sitting in my box. I might just shred it.
Can't stop me.
Yeah, I paid for it. It's currently my property. I might just confetti this bitch. And then also like talking to all of the different people at LSS. I didn't get a lot of time around Alex this time, which he was very busy with everything. Trying to run interference, do some damage control. I did get to talk to Josh Scott for quite a while. Dude, still love that human being. He is the goddamn best. Found out he listens to the show. So hi, Josh. Oops. Toodaloo. He's apparently he does listen while he walks his dog. And I'm like, oh, well, that's good to know. He gave me some exquisite New Zealand chocolate for my enjoyment. And so it was great to see him. Like I said, I got to see Alex briefly, got to spend time around the Realm crew. Always fun. I spent a ton of time around around the West Virginia crew. So Ben and the Shreves, Chris and Anna. Yeah. Spent a fuckload of time with Jeff O. Just hanging out with Jeff is always an experience. I love it. It's some of the most fun you'll have. Then we had one night where it was just Jeff O, myself, and Mo Bogsley and Dagan. And
hell yeah.
Just out having a good dinner and then drinking a pitcher of Palomas afterwards at one of the local bars. So we had a good time. We had a good time. I'm not in love with LA. I'm not a trendy person.
What?
And the place is pretty catered to like trendy tourist or dangerous.
Yeah. And also just an overarching theme of dirty.
Not really. Areas, sure. But that's just city. Like I suppose. Yeah. I can go to Des Moines and show you that shit. Like that's not anything. But the West Virginians were relating a story to me where they were waiting outside for an Uber and some dude just rolled up on him and looked at him and went, y'all ain't got a lick of sun on you. You ain't from here and you gonna be targeted. And it's like, fuck.
Huh. Put it that way.
I guess. No one's ever said anything to me and I walked around the city alone quite a bit. But again, I kind of walk like I know what I'm doing and I don't know. But the hotel we were staying at the rooms were roughly closet sized.
Oh, wonderful.
No drawers to speak of. The bathroom in the main room are the same room.
Huh.
Wasn't great. Didn't love it. Did not love it. But
yeah, that does not sound like something I would enjoy.
It was an ultra trendy hotel. Like it was built to be.
So it was a feature, not a bug, that the toilet was next to the couch. Got it.
Well, if there would have been a couch, you have a problem with the room when there's not a real cuck chair. If there's not a real cuck chair, it can't be a real hotel room.
Yeah, you need to have the cuck. Where is the cuck supposed to sit if they don't have their chair?
What the fuck is the cuck supposed to do if they don't have a chair? What, sit in the sink? Sit on the shitter and lean out? Like, no, the cuck needs to be comfortable. That's all I'm saying. Is there has to be a comfortable cuck chair, or there's no point. So there's that. Uh-huh. I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah, me too.
Pro Tour Los Angeles, again, huge hit. I did pick up 4 energy potions, so I do have a bunch of energy potions now.
Hell yeah.
And enough tickets to pick up a cold foil rune chant, so I have one of those now too.
Oh, wonderful.
And I got my artist proof from Yijor as well. Okay. It's awesome. I'll get pictures of it out there on the Discord so that people can see it. So yeah, it was a good time. My play, I started off kind of hot in the battle hardened or in the calling. Yeah, was 4-1 at one point. Then ran into Noah Walker, aka Dark Odious. God, I hope he listens to this because he hates that name. On playing when he was playing Dromai, and that's one of those matchups I don't like. It's very hard to win. You have to get very lucky. Now, I will say that I got very lucky prior, as I did beat a Kano in round 3 with AB0.
Oh, right. And arcane damage isn't real and
can't hurt me.
Famously said on this show.
And that managed to be true for one round.
Right.
But then I managed to just make a one single mistake that cost me my Dash.io matchup, and then lost to another Kano. So
at the risk of getting too lost in the sauce, what was the one mistake against Dio?
So it was it was me not paying enough attention. It was turn 1 or 2. I think it was 1. Okay. And he had already, and I'm on the play, and he had already blocked with anything he could block within hand. Or he blocked my attack with whatever he could block within hand, but it was still coming in. It was still connecting. Yeah. And I had a Slice and Dice active with a Blade Runner in hand. Okay. And so he went, okay, yep, he blocked with a 3. It pumped it to 4. He sort of like, oh yeah, I guess I take 1. And I'm like, yep, take 1. I'll pay for Vigor. And then as soon as I said that, I realized that I forgot to play the Blade Runner. And I'm like, shit. So that's 8 damage just gone. And it was actually 9 damage because I would have paid for Brave Forge Bracers as well. Right. And when the game ended, he had 5 life. So it was just a brain dead moment. It was me not having played a game of Fab in 2 weeks.
Right. Was that your round 1, or was this later in the
4?
Round 4. Okay.
I managed to keep my head about me for the first 3 rounds.
Right.
And played those pretty well. And then won the next round against Dash Inventor, played that one really well. Then Dark Odious. And then it was a Kasai Mirror where I should have just counted. I took a questionable line that if it works, I win. But if what I think he has is real or is correct, then I just lose. And I should have just followed through with what I thought, and I didn't. And so I took a bad line and wound up where I blocked a hot streak with he'd already attacked with Go again with a Centauri Saber. I blocked a hot streak with a Nourishing, where I should have just blocked with another card and taken 1 extra damage. Well, another card wouldn't have given extra damage, and then just sent the Nourishing. But in my brain the entire time is going, warning, warning, warning. He pitched a Nourishing early. Like, he has the Nourishing in hand. You're going to give this Go again, and then he's going to Nourishing. He's going to eat your hand anyway. Don't do this. And then I ignored my brain and said, well, he has to have it. And I should have just counted the deck and gone, right. Yep. Okay. And I didn't. So, oops. And then I just turned my brain off I didn't turn my brain off. I walked into another Kano matchup. So didn't win that one.
Yeah.
But weird way to go out with that. But I had a lot of fun. I felt confident. I felt good. I felt confident. And I felt good about most of everything I did. Blitz, I was doing great. And UPF draft, I split the finals.
Sweet.
The first sealed I did, I went 3-1. This lost a very close mirror at the end. Like, again, just I had a lot of fun. I played a lot of good fab. I got to hang out with people I really enjoy. And so it was a good time. But then there was a pro tour happening. Who knew?
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure, I haven't gone back and re-listened, but I'm pretty sure I said I thought Dromai would win this pro tour if the Kanos, if the two Kanos specifically didn't make it through. And
the two Kanos.
The two Kanos being Peter and Majin.
Majin, right?
Who Majin loses in the finals of the calling to Kasai. But it was a 18 blue, null rune, 3 Oasis, 3 taken on the chin Kasai. Like it was
like they hard tacked for
they weren't going to lose to
be there.
They weren't going to lose to Kano.
Yeah.
They were going to try as hard as they could. And so I did. I think if I remember correctly, I said that if the Kanos aren't there in the top 8, then Dromai is going to win this. And I wasn't right on the most represented. Charmer and I both missed that one.
Right.
But Dory was more represented than Dorinthia. Or sorry, Dory was more represented than KO. Or not KO, than Dromai. I thought Dromai would be the most represented.
Right.
But congratulations to Arthur Trade for becoming the 4th Pro Tour champion. I won Dromai masterful fucking game. That game is fucking ballistic.
That was a wild game to watch.
Yeah.
Like, not only because like it was really good Dromai play. And like I will be the first one to say like so long and good fucking night to Dromai. But
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. At the same time, like game recognized game. It was really fun to watch. There were a lot of times where I was like, wait a minute, what are they doing? And then the last play in particular. And then there was also an Axis Dorinthia that they were facing down. So that made it like doubly interesting because like that certainly wasn't on my bingo card for being there. Like I could have seen like some sort of switch, like Decimator and Dawnblade deck making it there because Dawnblade gobbles up dragons. But the hatchets that surprised me.
Yeah. So we had a discussion after the Hatchet's Kasai won.
Right.
Where it was like, well, you could just do that in Dory.
Yeah.
And have
hero
access.
Power is very relevant at that point.
Very. Especially going into like a Dromai. So if you think there's a bunch of Dromais in the field, you get 2 weapons. You get the second attack effect off of Dorinthia. You get access to Cleave if you want it. It's there. You have Spill Blood, which that card was doing fucking work.
Turns out Dominate's pretty good.
There's a reason they scaled it back to just being overpower.
Yep.
Because Dominate's real good.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's a really interesting spot with the Amnesia and that interaction.
Yeah.
Like when I was sitting there and I'm like in the hall and I'm watching it on my phone because I'm participating in an event and I'm like, the Amnesia thing happens and the Amnesia hits. And then Arthur is trying to use Ash, but Ash doesn't have a name anymore.
Right.
And they like couldn't set on the interaction. And so I look up, I'm like, what the fuck are they going to do? I see Josh Scott hauling ass like to the feature match area. Yeah. Because of the interaction and just how intricate it is. I'm like, okay, this is super interesting all of a sudden.
Right.
And then from there to get to that spot where it's like, okay, I think the Dory player, honest to God, thought he had just won the Pro Tour. And
because if their goal was to effectively blank Dromai, right? To make none of their dragons work. Yeah, that's pretty dang good if you can sneak that past them.
Right. And the other side of it being that, like, especially that last turn, I think on that last turn, that Dory player was going, Maximilian Klein was going, I just won the Pro Tour. And he's like, even if there's a sink in the arsenal, like the second hatchet is going to, or the third hatchet is going to kill him.
Right.
So, and then Sink found the sigil, and the sigil heard around the world.
Man, heart of the frickin' cards. My gosh.
Yeah, that was intense and awesome. I really loved it. I think the thing that I love the most, I mean, obviously diversity takes a little bit of a hit in the Pro Tour because I think largely because there's like teams of, of larger groups of people on the same deck. So seeing something like, Charmer said there'd be a 7-hero spread. And I'm like, I don't think there'll be a 7-hero spread here. And there certainly was it. There was a 4-hero spread. Turns out KO good.
Yep.
Turns out Dorinthia, they kind of, we knew that there was the Fatigue Dorinthia lists, and then obviously Maximilian Klein with the Hatchet story list. There was our token Kano was there too.
Yeah. From Brazil, nonetheless.
From Brazil. And then obviously the Dromai, but like, I think the coolest part was that it was 8 different countries.
Absolutely.
In the top
that was
8.
Something that was really cool to me. That definitely speaks to what a place this game has gotten to in the 5 years that it's been around. Only the 4th Pro Tour, and they have 8 different countries represented. And it's not even like a bunch of countries that are all right next door to each other, right?
No.
Like it is a spread of countries. And so like hats off to LSS for making this kick-ass fucking game, but also just like sticking to it and seeing the reach of it and all that stuff was awesome. The only thing that would have made it better is if like it wasn't a white dude, which is like, it is soon enough. There will be that, I think, but
well, Michael Feng, we already have one.
They're not a white dude.
No.
Turns out
you don't either remember that Michael Feng won a Pro Tour or you've never met Michael Feng.
Nope. Well, both.
Oh, okay. Well then. So we also, we had Calling Los Angeles. It was won by XSI. As we said before, Matthew Dilks. So hats off, really. Hard top 8 with 2 victors. The victors are probably not that bad. 2 KOs, which KO is, it's a coin flippy matchup. It's grindy. And then Katsu's your friend in this because Valiant Dynamo has text.
Boy. And
then Kano is the hard one. And he got through Majin Bey on Kano to win that one. This is closer to the type of like deck spread. That doesn't sound good, does it? Deck spread. Okay. That you'd expect with, 5 different heroes.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, in 5 different countries. So again, you get an international audience in a room. It's really cool to see that the international portions of the game are really present.
Yeah.
And it was very present in the room. There was a lot of, I spoke to people from everywhere. It felt like Brazil, Japan, Argentina, the wilds of Canada. Oh, I know, right? Just
exotic.
We're wilding now. Spain, Poland.
I thought you were going to say Portland there.
Well, I think I did talk to somebody from Portland too. That's the funny part. And even like, places that not even God would smile on, like New Jersey. So it was great. It was a good time. I thought the event hall was great.
It wasn't a tent. So that's a positive.
That's helpful.
Right?
Yeah.
You were talking about how intense the final was, and I, at the risk of cutting you off, which I should have, I was like, "Hey, but but it wasn't intense, Logan. It was in a hall."
This is what sucks because this is your like recording platform. Technically, I'm not sure I can kick you from it. Whereas I can boot Charmer if I fucking feel like it, but I don't know that I could do that with you. So it is what it is.
Like a bad rash. I just keep coming back.
Yeah, but it's the kind of rash that you think about how you got it, and you really don't mind the rash so much.
Makes it worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. They
Debbie
could have.
accounting.
I was thinking they could have disinfected the stripper pole, but it's fine.
In this economy?
Well, I mean, there was a time there where they were just giving away hand sanitizer.
Yeah, but also we were also in the midst of an administration that was encouraging bleach injection to help fight.
Or injecting light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Consuming it.
Well, sure. Like, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, one less person.
Violent insurrection.
I was thinking one less person in the world that thinks that drinking bleach is okay.
Yeah, but we also have all those soft-headed kids eating Tide Pods on TikTok and things like that. So
yeah. People always ask me, why do you think the world is too sick to survive? And
is it because of disinformation on TikTok? Is that what you were going to say?
No, it's kids eating Tide Pods.
Yeah,
it's that one. Then we also there was a Battle Hardened. It was a Living Legend format. It was like 60 players.
Yeah, and it's so funny because
very small.
We talk about like the diverse. I mean, I'm sure everybody was burned out after the weekend, and we talk about like the diversity of like all these different countries represented, and then it's like, yeah, in the finals it was Mike Feng and Brody Spurlock.
Right, sure. But again, it was a smaller Battle Hardened, and I as I talked to a lot of people around.
Is that small for a Battle Hardened though? Like 60 something people
at a pro tour? Yeah, absolutely.
I suppose. Yeah. Alongside a major.
Yeah.
Okay.
Considering again, you had this like whatever it was, a sub 100 person Battle Hardened over here, and then a 518 person UPF draft happening over here.
Yeah, that speaks though to the desirability of some of these promos that LSS
are 100%, right? 100%.
Like the EV as the gamers are saying these days. It's just so much better to be like, yeah, I'll spend my tickets or my $30 to do this event where I crack packs. I get to gamble and maybe also get something that I can sell. And then also get this card that's going to be worth a minimum of $50 to $60 this weekend.
125 at last check.
Jeez Louise, man.
Okay. Yeah, they were on site. They were 80s pretty easily.
My gosh. So that's okay. So that's wild to me because is that what the Iswardi Rabbles are going for right now? Or is that just because this is cold foil alt art versus just a rainbow foil alt art?
Iswardi Rabbles are 90, 95, like between 90 and 100.
Ooh, okay.
And
nice.
And then these are going to be more expensive because they're a one event promo, whereas the Rabbles were given out across a lot of events.
Okay, totally. So wow, and this is the only event those e-pots are going to be available at. Oh my gosh. Yes, this is Econ 101 right there. That's supply and demand, friends. And Greg is just now grasping that. You watch that happen in real time, internet. Right. You're welcome.
So like if you, as an example, the Sagrada sigils are still infinite dollars.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to, I want to look at them right now. I want to know right now. So I'm going to look.
And even like the Merlion sigils are still between 120, 150.
Right.
Yeah. And those were still handed out quite a bit afterwards. You could still pick them up at prize walls. You can do a lot of different things with those. But yeah.
Wow. As of March 7, the most recent TCG player sold for the World Sigil was $209.
Yep.
That's bananas Foster. And they were going for like 250 before that.
Yep. That is very true.
Turns out getting to these events, even if you're not playing in the big dance, is like worth it. Because that's literally recouping most of your costs if you play in 2 or 3 of those events.
Yeah, in a lot of senses, like I think I would have needed to play in like several events.
Sure.
Like basically if I would have played in all of the sigil events,
right?
Or not sigil events, energy potion events, I would have recouped like 70-ish% of my costs.
Right. But that also requires you have to actually flip the E-pot. And if you want the
which E-pot, I'm not doing because they're just why would I?
Because I know you.
Right. Why would I do that? So there's that. And it is interesting that, the finals of the Battle Hardened, the Living Legend Battle Hardened, no Starvo to be seen. But Starvo got the shit kicked out of him by some of those restrictions. And it goes to show, because we had Michael Fang on Chain over Brody Spurlock on Lexi. So two very aggressive decks. And as soon as there wasn't the possibility of just getting your shit Channel Lake Frigid off, okay, I can handle an Ice Hammer. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So, yep. Congratulations to Michael Fang, obviously, on the win there.
The sure thing.
The sure thing, baby. It was a fascinating weekend, just because a lot of people are calling it the best weekend of Flesh and Blood ever.
I mean, as somebody who wasn't there, I would call it that. And I think that speaks volumes for the game and for LSS, personally.
Yeah, it does. And being in the room, I think that it probably is the most fascinating time I've had at a LSS event so far.
Interesting. You're not a person to choose your words arbitrarily. So what makes it fascinating?
The levels that people were interacting at. It wasn't a quiet hall. And it was, while people were like, obviously the staff and everything else was very busy, the interaction points just seemed more, if that makes sense. And so there was kind of this, calling it a free flow of information isn't right, but it seemed like there was just a lot of good talk going around the room. And so even as much as this, like, having a quick discussion with Brian Gottlieb, or being able to pull aside Joe Sapp and take some, photos to fuck with Elaine, or watching the cosplay, watching Max Ferrasi on rollerblades going across the event hall.
I didn't realize until significantly later that they went so far as to have the rollerblades for it too. And I'm such a 90s kid and I apologize. I know this is disgusting, and I love my wife very much, but holy shit. That did things to old Greg.
Oh, I get it. But it was, the cosplay contest was great, obviously. You had Carolina doing Victor, a gender bent Victor had like a hobby horse, like a little horse on wheels.
It was wonderful.
Then you had Max Frosty on rollerblades, just doing Evo Mockbreaker, which was really awesome. You had the winner, a Kano, that actually was summoning fire.
Yeah, that was a wonderful touch.
That was that one. That was really.
How do you top that? How do you go higher than, like, I'm literally creating fire on stage for your amusement?
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a couple of, like, little things that weave into there that make it that really got that over the top. One, the fire. Two, like, Kano is one of James White's favorite characters in all the game.
Yeah,
and so you're kind of playing to your audience a little bit too.
Which, I mean, hey, that's a meta call.
Smart.
Very good meta call.
The new promo cards they have for the cosplay contests are insane. Yeah. Because they're on the front side, they're like a thread or a fabric card that has a block with a value, and then they have a flip function that flips them into a piece of equipment.
Yeah, so I just now have scab skin leathers.
Right. Or Snapdragon scalers. Or, I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, and I'm like, that's innovative as fuck.
Man, it's been a while since I've even looked at Taylor. Their ability lets you equip things, right?
Yeah.
That's how that works. Gross.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, and they're also a shapeshifter. That was the other thing that wasn't connecting in Greg's smooth brain. Oh my gosh. I mean, I know. Okay.
Right. But it was an awesome cosplay contest to see. It was And then people just walking around, you know, in cosplay all day. And Carolina and Max Frosty ran it back the next day. Just were in the hall in full cosplay.
Yep. Just
and
being themselves.
Yep. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
And again, the vibe in the room was never sour. Outside of the outside of somebody attempting to rob the realm again, but that was, you know, it has to happen every Pro Tour now. It's just a rite of passage. Happened in Baltimore, and here we go again.
It's written in the stars. There's nothing you can do about it, Keith. You just got to bend over and present your wallet.
Yeah, just this time though, they did wind up catching the person and recovering the money. So, wound up not in the same spot as Baltimore where they didn't recover the money, but yeah, it was just one of those where I come over after like playing in a match, and then Keith's like, "So we got robbed again." I'm like,
I can hear that too. I can hear that in Keith's voice.
Right. Again. Okay. He's like, "But we got it back this time." I'm like, "Well, that's good at least." But you know, outside of little things like that, it was kind of. Now I will say that that was all day one stuff, so it's all Friday stuff. Where also.
Wait, they got robbed on Friday?
Yeah.
That's a bold move.
And well, and then also like somebody was like, these were people that weren't participating in any events. They just saw an opportunity to potentially, you know,
there's something happening.
Level up. Yeah, like might as well go check. And so somebody was coming through and grabbing, like trying to grab people's bags if they weren't, you know, close enough to them and things like that. And I'm just like, okay, but well, after that, like there was pretty constant like security presence in the hall. So I didn't feel unsafe to me or anything, but it was like that first day was just like, okay, I get you. But otherwise, like it just felt like the atmosphere across the board was kind of in a more celebratory place. And I think some of that had to do with the keynote, which we're going to jump into, because a lot of people were just hype.
Yeah, I didn't think I could be more excited for Flesh and Blood, like watching the best players play unexpected decks at the highest level with like some of the best TCG coverage possible. And then it's like, hold my beer, says James White.
So the Pro Tour keynote was just fucking loaded with info. And so we're just going to kind of go through it a little, you know, just step by step here. We're going to start with Part the Mistveil info. This really is what got people going, got the juices flowing. This is the first thing I saw when I stepped off the plane in LA. And the buzz was immediate. And so it's going to be a 3-class set, 3-hero set, and 3-class set. So think Tales of Arya, where we have a new assassin, a new illusionist, and a new ninja. They are all mystic, though. So it's a mystic assassin, mystic illusionist, mystic ninja. So similar to Elemental Ranger, Elemental Guardian, Elemental Runeblade. The 3 new heroes are New, Alluring Desire. Now, okay, this is our assassin. How fucking horny is this shit?
A
seductive assassin.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
We're coming out of horny hitters and going straight into seductive assassin named New. Would you like to new? Would you like some new?
Yeah, MST doesn't stand for Part the Mistveil. It stands for how fucking moist I am as a result of all these spoilers, because all of them are so good. And granted, not all of them are like I'm uncontrollably horny now, but I'm uncontrollably horny now.
Yeah, no, I get it. So New is a 440 hero. I think they're all 440s.
They are, in fact.
And so New is the mystic assassin. Her ability, and I'm pretty confident this is her. Your attacks with stealth. So here we go again. When this chain link resolves, banish all action cards defending this. Well, shit. Okay. And then as an instant, it has 3 blue pips that are not blue. Those are chi.
Well, they are blue. They're just not they're not your normal pips.
They're not your normal pips.
They're not your mother's pips.
God, I hope not. That'd be really awkward. Instant, 3 of these new blue pips. Look at the top card of an opposing hero's deck. If it's blue, you may banish it. Until end of turn, you may play blue cards from that hero's banish zone without paying their resource cost. Remember that first ability, where it just banishes cards if you block with them.
Yep.
Don't block with blues.
Wait, hang on. When the chain link resolves, oh boy, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not as smart as Charmer here. So,
what the fuck? I mean, you're not as smart as Charmer, but I'm not Charmer.
That's true. But I'm just trying to catch up to the train of logic that you're riding on right now. And I know Charmer would already be jumping ahead to some sort of witty pun right now, and I'm still trying to comprehend why you don't want to block with a blue.
Because if you block with a blue, it's going to banish the action cards defending this, which includes attack actions.
Why would the blocking card do that?
No, if you block a stealth card, or you block a card with stealth with an attack action, a blue attack action, and the chain link resolves, it then banishes the blue card. So then if you activate New's ability
after the attack has hit, after your stealth attack has hit,
after your stealth attack doesn't have to hit. Your attacks with stealth
when this chain link resolves,
banish all action cards.
All the Isht defending this.
Correct. They all go to the banish zone. And then look at the top card of an opposing hero's deck.
That's not a blocking card, though. That's the top of their deck.
But you can play blue cards from that hero's banish zone. Not the card you banished. Any of them.
The last horse crosses the finish line, my friends. Now I understand what you're saying. Okay, got it. Yep. So that's wild. So you could wait until the end of this turn. Oh, interesting.
Until end of turn.
Boy, so do you think we're going to be getting stealth cards with Go again then?
We still have a lot of ways to give shit Go again. I'm not too worried about that.
Oh my gosh,
but
that's terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying.
I love them so much.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying.
Much. I don't even know how they work, and I love them.
Okay. So this is one of those where anytime it's always scary when they give you the ability to break the rules of paying costs.
Right. Yep.
There's a lot of really good Guardian Blues that still attack for a ton.
Also, even if we're just staying in the realm of Assassin, I would love nothing more than to play Surgical Extraction for free from my opponent's banished zone.
Oh, sure. Fuck it.
I would just love that. Or even just give me wait, no, is it attack actions?
It's attack actions.
You may play blue cards. It's just
blue cards. Yeah. Sorry, it's just blue cards.
Oh my gosh. All right. In this weird reality where they're playing Rouse the Ancients, sure, I'll play Rouse the Ancients for free.
I mean, if you have enough to make it do anything, that's the hard part.
I've got enough to make it do anything.
All right.
Don't worry, Logan.
But yeah, it's just blue cards. So blue, whatever. I mean,
one of my favorite cards in the game that I'm not going to remember the name because it's not Nourishing Emptiness. It's the blue 4 attack 2 cost that gives you it gives you +1 intellect.
Pursuit of Knowledge.
Yeah, I want to play that for free.
You can play Pursuit of Knowledge for free. If somebody happens
because this is the meta where everybody's playing Pursuit of Knowledge main board,
sure, and
not boarding it out against the assassin that can play cards.
But this is also one of those funny ones where it's like you could just channel, you'd have to somehow banish. They have to block with their Channel Lake Frigid. But then you could just play their Channel Lake Frigid.
Yeah. Interesting. This is and you wouldn't even have to wait. Wouldn't you have to enter the channel or whatever it's called at the end of your turn to put a blue card?
Yeah, you would.
Is it a blue card or an ice card?
It's an ice card.
I would just do it anyway.
I mean, why
Fuck
not?
them.
It's free. If it's free, it's free.
Yeah, because especially then they can't play their D-React for free later in the chain.
Right.
Anyway, all right.
Fun card. Interesting card.
All of Greg's dumb aside now. New has my heart.
Oh, she's gas. Like, I'm a big fan.
So fucking cool.
Yep, big fan.
Just when I thought, like, man, how do they make this game more interesting?
Well, they go back and they try to redo Arya and hopefully don't make 3 of the most oppressive heroes ever.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, I mean, they're already again, I'm getting ahead.
We'll get to it.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get to
it. And I'm shook. Anyway, so that was new. Who was our next hero?
And next one is Enigma, Ledger of Ancestry. Now, this bears pointing out. This is our second illusionist with 40 health.
Boo.
Right.
Boo.
Its her ability is just your first spectral shield attack each turn costs 1 less to activate.
Yep.
Cool.
Boo.
Couldn't be happier. So 2 cost Iris of Realities or whatever. Once per turn instant, again, the chi cost, whatever that ends up being, create a spectral shield token with a +1 attack counter on it. So we can about guarantee that Enigma's weapon is going to let spectral shields attack. And
even if it's just a reprint of like Iris, right? Which would be a little stinky. That would be a little stinky.
That wouldn't be great.
I mean, they've just reprinted Reinar in Horny Hitters, right?
Sure. But in this case, I think that they're going to do something a little bit different.
I would hope so, especially because up to this point, LSS has really been doing it's all about the theme and the feel and the vibe. And to just basically copy paste the same weapon that the Light Illusionist was using would be pretty stinky.
Like a Mystic Luminaris probably isn't the worst thing. Original Luminaris.
Nope. Don't put that evil. Don't even speak that into existence, Logan.
Yeah,
Shame
I don't like
you.
it. I suddenly don't like it. Okay, I'm out. But yeah, so this is, again, there's no other qualifications on this other than the cost to just make a spectral shield. Don't have to banish anything. Nothing else has to have happened. You just make one.
Yeah, and again, also piggybacking on what you said about new, we're cheating resource costs here, right? Your first spectral shield attack is a little bit cheaper.
A little bit cheaper. Yeah. So I think with this one, there's not as much to talk about yet because the text of the card is pretty face up. Yeah. And there's not a lot of what ifs. But
yeah, the what ifs are in the design of the cards that we're going to be drafting.
Correct.
And actually brewing the deck around, which will be crazy.
Oh, it's going to be nuts. Yep. Then the last one is our ninja, Zen, Tamer of Purpose.
Yep.
So once per turn instant, same shit. Create a crouching tiger in your hand. Okay. Fine. Crouching tigers. Yeah, we know that. We know there's a lot of crouching tiger hidden penis going on.
Yeah, and what's the worst that could happen? You can't even pitch them, right?
No, you absolutely can't. But you search your deck for a card with combo, banish it, and shuffle, and you may play it this turn.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. So what is it? Roar of the Tiger, right? Is that the pump for all of them?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Pouncing something, and I think it's Roar of the Tiger.
Yep, that's the Crouching Tigers you control gain +1 this turn. Yep, that will definitely do some damage in this deck.
And so basically you're getting Katsu's ability without discarding a card.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's only literally the only trade-off is you're just pitching your triple chi, right?
Or that's not pitching, you just, if it's something that generates and stays on the board, you're just using it.
Right. That
and then your plus cards.
Oh my gosh. The places this could go are innumerable, right?
Right.
I'm not even going to speculate, especially because anytime I look at this card, I just see their biceps and their deltoids, and I just want
rippling.
Them to hold me. That's all I want.
Oh well, you know,
Zen is daddy. Can we just affirm that?
Yeah, he also has massive hands. Like those are some fucking paws. Like
I mean, they are the tiger, you know.
Yeah,
And let me tell you,
he's the tamer, but you know.
Yeah, but I know how you tame a tiger, and that's by licking the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I guess that's what you do. You just lick the fuck out of that tiger. Sounds great.
I did my internship in undergrad at the San Diego Zoo, and that was what we did.
I thought you were the guy that manually masturbated the elephants for insemination.
No. I was licking tigers.
Oh, okay. I misread your resume then.
Yeah.
The Chi and Mystic is the primary mechanic of the set, so this looks like it's going to be Arya-esque, where there won't be any generics, and replacing the generic slot will be Mystic.
It's really interesting. I'm going to call my shot right now. I think there's going to be a generic card in the expansion slot, and that is going to be where we see a generic card.
Yeah, right? We'll see generics in there, but I'm talking about like in the draftable play experience, right? Yeah. That there won't be any generics, that there just be Mystic talented. We did get some hints with that when they showed off some product releases and they had cards with them.
They sure did.
So we did get I'd look at two cards. The first one is Big Blue Sky. If you're shocked by this, then I don't know what to tell you, but it's a blue pitch. Mystic defense reaction. It's a 0 block 2, but it has this gets +1 defense for each blue card you've pitched this turn.
Right.
So makes things like pitching from movables or any other react really that you can do,
or any ability that you activate, right?
Right.
Who knows what
any
the
of that
equipment we're gonna have is, even activating these heroes, just because then you get bonuses and you're not actually losing cards in your deck.
Correct. And then there's also Wide Blue Yonder. It's the same card, just as an attack reaction instead of a defense reaction. So it's +1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn. It doesn't have any base pluses. It's just it gets +1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn.
The more you've dumped into it, it's very reminiscent of Final Act from the Round the Table product, right? The more that you've dumped into that pitch zone, the better payoff. Which is fun, you know? But it just gives me PTSD for Exude Confidence issues that I have. And you can go fuck yourself, Sin. So
I mean, I've exuded a lot of people in my life too. So
it's
fun as hell.
When you bring when it was legal in Blitz way back in the days of yore at the brawl in Pittsburgh last year, I played Sin in an event. And I brought Nourishing Riptide. So I was just running Nourishing Emptiness and
traps
reactions. So that didn't go well for me when they super pumped their Exude Confidence. And
no, it just hits then.
I still weep about that.
Yeah. This would be a pitch 3 blues to pump Exude and then play this out of Arsenal.
Yep.
And it's a 0, for +3.
Yep. I don't like it. I don't like it.
To be fair, the only deck that plays Exude and Blitz is Briar. And Briar is gone.
Yeah, that's true.
In the next skirmish season, Briar dies.
Yeah, it's interesting though. It makes I love the wibbly wobbly, timey wimey nature of this non-rotating game, right? Because now is Exude Confidence gonna shoot back up more in price because people want to run this main deck in all of their CC decks? Is Michael Hamilton going to be looking at Exude Confidence and saying, yes, this passes the bar for me?
Yeah, more please, more.
Even though Roger hasn't passed the bar yet, more of this for me, please.
I'm not going to take shots at Roger.
I love Roger.
Not right now, at least. So yeah, we've got. I mean, this set is very. It's what we thought. It's very blue.
Yeah, it's the inverse of, and I suppose the inverse is a bit of a misnomer. It's the blue version, the way Uprising was, right? Everything was draconic. It was all red line because red is the dragon color and blue is the mist color in this instance. Yep. And yellow is the color mystic. Of soul. So,
Yep. Yeah, and we knew we were going to get Bluesionist at some point, and here it is.
Yep.
And we getting the Ninja and Blue has been pretty synonymous outside of Phi.
I mean, yeah, from the days of Welcome to Wraith, Katsu has been pitching a blue to Kadachi. And even before that, I guess not before that, but Ira loves her some blue.
Oh yeah,
as well. So,
and now we get News Blue ass.
I tell you what, I'm going to be bluing something on their ass.
You are a dirty old man. The next stop, though, is that we got our Worlds announcement.
We did.
We got our Worlds announcement. We're going to Osaka, Japan this year. So it does look like they are going to stick to the North America, Europe, Asia rotation for Worlds, which great. Please do. So October 31st through November 3rd. Plenty of time. This does mean I'm not going to Tokyo.
Because you'll be going to Osaka.
This also might mean that I'm not going to Amsterdam because I'm going to Osaka. So there's some considerations to be had about how to make this all work, but it will be a insane Worlds weekend, I'm sure. Have a calling along with some, the general like large scale events and hoopla and everything else that goes into the Worlds production. If we learned anything from Barcelona last year, they're going to go all out. But unlike Barcelona last year, we have a Worlds announcement,
7 months approximately?
Yes, 7 months before Worlds instead of.
So, I mean, like
90 days. Yeah, right.
Good fucking show, LSS.
Thanks for letting us know.
Literally more than half a year in advance. That's fucking.
It's what we need. It's what we need.
It's fucking light years ahead of where we were back when the Kennedys were holding this show down. So that's been 15 months now. Yeah,
but
and I remember that being that was a point of contention.
It was, absolutely.
I vividly remember, hey, you got to let the players know more than 2 months in advance where these major events are going to be.
Yeah, and that was
not feasible for the people that actually want to pay money to you to do this thing. So give us at least 6 months heads up.
And it was brought up to me by, and this is how I knew he listens to the show, was Josh. Josh was like, so now that I know that Japan was too short a notice for Tokyo's too short a notice for the world premiere, but Osaka? And I'm like,
you fucking got me. You fucking got me, Josh.
Yeah. Osaka's probably something I can figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Same problem with the wife, though. I still got to figure out how to bring her as well, or get divorced. One of the two.
Yeah,
I think the divorce is cheaper. Actually, looking at flight prices, I'm thinking the divorce is cheaper.
It all just depends on the number of kids you have together.
0.
Oh, then you can get out of this literally scot-free.
She's standing right here flipping me off. That's the best part.
You're taking me to Japan.
Yes, you're taking them to Japan, Logan.
Yeah, apparently I'm taking her. It's not that.
It is that now. Hello, Internet. Their middle name is David. Their social security number is 621-01-6549.
Fantastic. Somebody try to use that. But yeah, this will probably change my entire year's plans, because just the ability, planning for Amsterdam wasn't locked in or anything. And I was waiting for the World's announcement to lock it in. And then,
because if the World's announcement is going to be in Dayton, Ohio, you want to go somewhere like Amsterdam instead.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking that if they couldn't, like, obviously if they couldn't get Japan completely sorted this year for something on that scale, that they'd put it back in North America, so either Canada or here, and so or the US. But as soon as like the world premiere, they had that, that has happening in May. I'm like, man, they might actually be able to put Worlds in Japan. And so I was holding off because of that. And now it's like, okay, how long do I want to spend in Japan? Mm-hmm. What's the cheapest I can find flights, which is about 1,000, which isn't bad. And go from there.
Yeah.
Like, so it also makes it so that my travel for Gen Con isn't the fucking worst. Because it was going to have to be fly to Amsterdam, do that, stay in Europe for a few days, fly to Indianapolis, get picked up at the airport in Indianapolis, do Gen Con, then come back home. Now I can just go Gen Con, come back home.
Yeah, and that would have sucked from that jet.
It would have been rough. However, like, pints of Guinness make me strong. And when we
do they have Guinness in Amsterdam?
No, but they do at Gen Con.
Oh, fair
enough. The crew I roll with at Gen Con has a thing where they're just usually up till 3 a.m. playing Secret Hitler and getting fucking blasted.
Gods, I need to be a part of that crew at one point.
It's fun as hell.
Hell yeah. And what a great game.
And just like I said, just getting blasted too. Like fucking getting Kano'd.
Fucking Majin Bade all over my face.
Well, some people pay extra for that. But I'm not going to name names. That's rude.
Yeah, you don't need to throw the author of The Stoic under the bus for that. They're not even here to defend themselves.
It wouldn't be the author of The Stoic. It would be our embroiderer. But I mean, who would also just, have you sit on his face too. So I guess six one half does the other.
But would they want me to sit on their face, or would
I don't care who's doing
my face?
Whatever's happening over here.
Listen, I want my face sat on, Logan.
We can make that happen.
That's so much to ask.
It's really not, and I'm sure you'll have some. We can find you some volunteers. This is not difficult. But I'm thinking that Osaka's the play.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it gives me plenty of time to plan and get all my ducks in a row. 7 months. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to skip a little bit and go to they did announce the rest of the callings for the year, at least what I would assume are the rest of the callings for the year. Yeah. So we have Tampa Bay, which I might go to that one. It's really cheap to get from Des Moines to Tampa. And I might actually stay, like, Orlando is about an hour drive from Tampa.
Okay.
And so I might actually stay in Orlando and do weird Orlando shit. Like, I can get a 3-bedroom villa that sleeps 12 people for a week in Tampa for like $400. So
testing house.
Yeah, right. Testing house. And I don't give a shit. Like, it'll be a 5-minute drive from Disney and Universal. Like, I guess.
Hell yeah.
So that's something I'm considering, is doing that. And then, I think that'd be fun. Like, to just get a bunch of people together and hang out in a villa for a week or whatever. And
yeah, in the land that turned Tommy Fresh from Tommy Producing into Tommy Fresh.
Is it?
Yeah, they spent a lot of their younger days down in the Florida.
I guess that tracks. Yeah, the more you know. And then we also have Sydney, Lyon, Portland, the aforementioned Portland.
Yes, not to be forgotten, as well as Chicago.
And I will be in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like,
do you love the bean?
I don't give a fuck okay. I don't give a fuck about the bean in Chicago. There are other beans that I really respect.
Whoa, plural? There are plural beans that you respect?
Plural beans.
Like Kamala Harris's bean?
Like plural beans that I respect.
Plural beans.
Coffee beans are fucking great.
Okay. All right.
All right,
yeah. I'm I will fight somebody if they say lima beans. My wife
No,
loves lima
God,
beans.
no. Oh,
And those are the most fucking
they're vile.
They're fucking milk toast vegetables.
Yeah,
And
they're
that's
shit.
saying something.
They're absolute. They make kidney beans flavorful in comparison.
Yeah. Cannellini
And-
beans, I can fuck with them.
Oh, they're good. A good black bean.
The
Like
frijoles.
frijoles, baby. Just give me those frijoles.
See.
Rosy frijoles, and I am in heaven. Give me some beans and rice, and I am fucking doing it. And so yeah, I think that I'll try to make Tampa. That shouldn't be too hard. I will definitely be in Chicago. That's really easy. And then obviously I'll be in Minneapolis because that's also super easy. So those are probably the rest of the callings I'll do for the year. But you never know. I might pop up to another event. I mean, then there's obviously ProQuests and things like that and other local events. Like I'll be in Kansas City on April 13th. I already know that for a ProQuest.
Okay.
And
we need to connect offline about that one.
Why? We can do it now. No one gives a shit. Or tomorrow on After Dark, whatever. Who the fuck cares? But yeah, absolutely. We'll be doing that. So I'll still be around a lot. It's just for callings. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Minneapolis, Tampa, Chicago, and Osaka.
Yeah,
will be the rest of my year.
That's a solid spread.
It is a solid spread.
Yeah.
We also know that our first Armory pre-con will be KO.
Yeah, it will be. And, all of the hubbub and hullabaloo on the internet is, what does LSS deem Armory worthy, right?
Yes.
Which that's an interesting thing to think about, right? How many staples are going to be reprinted in that bad boy, Logan? And how many cards that are exclusive to this KO Armory deck are
the exclusivity is what has me in real questions.
Is that what's puckering your bunghole?
I think so.
We don't want another glistening situation.
No, absolutely not. But so Brian Gottlieb obviously has a very extensive Magic background. These remind me of the Magic Challenger decks.
Sure.
That they used to do, which were loaded with staples.
Okay.
And at a good price point, but like of the more chase version or the more like upper rarity versions of things, they usually would only include 1 or 2 copies instead of a full set.
Right. Because a play set in Magic for the uninitiated is 4 of.
And so this could follow kind of that logic. It could also just be that they're like, okay, we're going to print a brute specific like tunic or something similar. Okay. That maybe you roll 6 every time that you discard a 6, it gets a counter instead of every turn. Right.
Okay.
And then you peel off 4 counters instead of 3. Something like that. Yeah. Right. Again, something that's not necessarily a best in slot improvement or anything, but is a good replacement.
Right. A fair enough workaround where, especially if the deck has enough synergy or you're even willing to modify the deck to really lean into that you're, getting maybe as much equity.
Sure. The first time each turn you discard a 6. And so it's the same as a tunic because KO is almost always discarding a 6.
Right.
And maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's, I don't know. Like there's a lot of ways they could go with it. I feel like the exclusive cards are going to be toned down specific. I shouldn't say assume to be. If I were doing this, which I'm not paid to do this,
sure,
because I don't know if I'm good at this. Never tried, but I feel like this is a good spot to do things like that are more class specific with class specific abilities. So it wouldn't remove equity from again, if you made a tunic replacement that required an action to happen each turn rather than just happens each turn to get the counter.
Sure.
That's fine. No one's going to be up in arms saying you ruined my tunics or,
right.
something along those lines.
Especially because generics are always going to be the most sought after things, right? Because every hero, no matter what they are, can play them until there's some wild hero that gets designed that their hero text says you cannot play generic cards, right?
And then it could also just be, a new brute one-hander.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the $40 price points, no one's going to bat an eye if they put an E-Strike in the deck. Sure.
Hopefully not. I mean, the thing that sucks about TCG communities is there's always going to be somebody that's whining, right?
That's literally every community.
Yeah, fair, very fair. And it's hard. I guess it's hard for me to take the temperature of other communities because this is the community that I'm most involved in, right? But yeah, people love to just fucking shit their pants all the time.
Oh, they do.
About some of the most asinine things. And to be fair, myself included, I had a big old shit in my pants earlier today, and it's been festering.
Fair enough. But we will find out because it comes out on May 3rd.
Which is alarmingly close to now.
Like a month away.
We're barely a month away from that.
We also get a new player product in August, which are the first strike decks. We know nothing.
Yeah, that boy. So I would not be surprised if that's just a marketing thing where it's like essentially a blitz deck, but they're just not marketed as blitz decks, right? They're now first strike decks.
I think that this is actually the Gen Con product.
What? Help the slow kid. What do you mean?
Flesh and Blood LSS will have a presence at Gen Con.
Yep, for the first time.
And they need a product to capture this audience and that is new player friendly to get them into the game.
Okay.
Gen Con is the first weekend of August.
Okay.
I think this is the product that they will be featuring and probably releasing at Gen Con.
Okay.
Basically because, and it could be as simple as the first strike decks are IRA replacements or something along those lines. Something that is really geared to teaching new players.
Yeah, I like that. It's the ideal way to learn Flesh and Blood, and it's $15 or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and they could even pattern it after Portal, the way that Magic used to do Portal. You're too young for this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I am.
But when Portal came out, you had these. They came with 2 decks, right?
Okay.
In one box, and the way that they taught the game through Portal was they had an instruction book. But the instruction book was built in such a way that you didn't shuffle the deck before you played.
Okay, that's so funny. I'm going to interrupt you because that's literally how my son and I learned Pokemon, because they had the exact same thing where it's, all right, you open up this, $20 starter pack. It's 2 basically partial decks. They're not fully legal size decks, but it's like, okay, don't shuffle. We're going to talk you through the first few turns, and then you're off to the races.
Yep, that's exactly what Portal was in 1997 or 8.
Okay, yep. I was around. I was not playing Magic because I was very late to that game.
You were barely a thinking thing in 1998.
Boy, I mean, I was kind of stupid, but I was 7 years old. So
I mean, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not. I may look a spring chicken, but I'm a fucking hairy cock.
Huh. I don't know. Okay. Have you ever shaved? No, don't answer that. But we're going to move on. And we're going to move on to the banned and restricted announcement. The announcement that everybody believed was much ado about nothing, to the point of on Sunday, we're in the hall and I believe it was Brian that was standing right there, and somebody was like, there's a banned and restricted announcement on Monday, and somebody goes, it's just an LL announcement, and Gottlieb's like, I'm just like, huh, okay, gonna file that away for later. And here it comes, and there are cards on it that are fucking irrelevant as of right now.
They're not irrelevant to me, damn it.
Because
it's Berserk and Crown of Seeds before the dramatics of Greg
correct.
overwhelm the rest of this actually relevant information.
Yes.
They're both Berserk and Crown of Seeds, not seeing play in any respectable deck right now. They're both banned in Classic Constructed as well as Blitz.
No, not yet. So, Crown of Seeds is still legal in Blitz until July 8th.
Okay, I was too busy seeing red to give a flying fuck about Crown of Seeds.
We're going to circle back to that part. I'm going to let you go through your Berserk histrionics now.
Okay. Berserk is a dog shit card. We all know it. LSS knew it when they printed it in Dynasty. But that card has a special place in Greg's heart because Greg has had devious amounts of fun playing the stupid fucking deck that Alex Patak and a few other people have had, I don't know, moderate like RTN success on, where it's just
I'm going to quote this because it's one of the best blasts I've read in a long time.
Okay.
Which is in a vacuum, a Berserk ban looks somewhat absurd.
Yes.
Not to discount a sterling performance from Corey Frascati Robinson, who took Berserk Greiner to a top 4 finish at a Philadelphia PTI event.
Yeah, so it's a shitty fucking card.
It's a great blast, though. That blast is amazing.
Yeah, fucking everywhere. There, on the back, on the walls, the shower floor, everywhere in between. It does a fucking winky wonky, honky tonky, donkey crazy thing where it basically just you discard a card at random, you reveal the top card of your deck if it has 6 power, put that motherfucker in your hand. So it definitely can lead to toxic situations. I'm not denying that. But I'll be fucked if that's not the most fun toxic thing I've ever done in a trading card game. It's given me so much fucking life because I hit this point where I was like, man, playing Arachne on Talishar, which again, for those of you who don't know the Greg lore, Greg doesn't have a local game store in the town he lives in. Greg is a dad to 2 very young children. Greg doesn't have the time to get to a game store, even if it was within reasonable driving distance. Greg gets so overwhelmed in situations like this, they refer to themselves in the third person. That's how ridiculous this is. So Greg had been playing Arachne with fervor for like a month and a half, maybe more, to the point that Greg has commissioned this ridiculous altar of Arachne, which at one point you'll all see. But then Greg was like, man, I miss playing Reinar. And you know what? Heavy hitters came out. There's some other fun cards. I bet that piece of shit Berserk deck is a lot more fun now. Turns out it is. And also, Ravenous Medex is my favorite card in the game. And so, like, being able to just fucking have Berserk in Arsenal, play it off a Tunic counter, play it into a Blood Rush Bellow, and the card that you discard for Blood Rush is Beast Within, is the biggest fucking endorphin rush I think I've ever had. And I'm the father of 3 children. So, like, I understand. It's definitely the type of thing that Stonewall's design. I read as much of the article as I could. I get it. It's just made me fucking sad because I loved dumpstering people online with that deck. And honestly, most of the time I lost with it because it's a pretty dog shit deck because it's all yellows and a lot of the reds don't block. And I mean, I'm particularly stupid. I have Tear Limb from Limb in the deck too because that's exactly. I know. It's just I have mental deficiencies. It's why I'm attracted to Berserk Reinar.
Fair enough.
All this to be said, I'm sad. And when I saw that this happened, I immediately converted that deck on Fabrary into a UPF deck. So if we ever play UPF, I'm either playing that or some degenerate Arachne deck. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, now we're going to get to the actual discussion here. So, first off, it is not lost on me that the 2 cards on this announcement are an Earth card and a Brute card.
Yep.
Now,
you know what that means, Logan? 4 sets from now.
Not 4.
Comes.
Not 4. And
sooner than that, you think? You think in the next 18 months we have an Earth Brute?
Give me a minute. So, please no Earth Brute. Just no. Nope. I'm out.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm fucking out. Like, I do not want this shit. But so the one thing this does let us know is that we're going back to an elemental set soon. There's no reason to ban it now.
Crown of Seeds in particular you're referring
Crown
to.
of Seeds. Unless it's happening soon. The second part of this is that, as I just said before, Berserk is banned in Blitz immediately, as is Crown, because it's not legal anyway.
Mm-hmm.
However, Crown is still legal in Blitz, specifically until July 8th, which is the next banned and restricted announcement. But the one after that would be scheduled for after the next set release.
Interesting. So post MST, or is that when MST?
No,
is
post
that when
September.
Part the Mistveil?
So the July 8th one is a month after Part the Mistveil.
Okay.
And the next one would be a month after the next set is released.
Okay.
Would be in October.
Okay.
And so if that's the case, then that tells me that the next set is elemental, or the next armory deck is elemental, is earth elemental, and is a new hero. So, tinfoil hat, I think they may have given us some information, and please no fucking Earth Brute. Just no. I don't want this. I've been saying for a long time I don't want this. No. Please don't. I'm good. Channel Mount Brute is something we don't fucking need. We don't need it, Greg. I mean, I can't hear you, so it's great.
I know. That's why I'm not saying things out loud, because I was letting you have your time, but we do fucking need that.
We don't.
Oh my God. The world where I can place a mountain and pocket a blood rush for the next turn.
Stallion mounts the World Brute.
Oh, the tectonic shaking I'm going to be producing.
Like, if you had a turn that was just, okay, Channel Mount Heroic, swing big for 11, Arsenal of Blood Rush, pay for channel, go.
Mm-hmm.
Your opponent's probably just fucking dead.
Probably.
Like,
but they banned Berserk. That's what's nutty about this. What the fuck are they brewing? What the fuck are they cooking up in the kitchen at LSS?
Well, that's the thing. The reason I think that Earth and Brute are connected here is the card that made me go, fuck, is actually Cast Bones. Because with Crown of Seeds, you can set up a perfect Cast Bones by crowning away 6s every turn. And then
you put it in the pocket and you keep sending
you
them downstairs.
Hit your pitch stack, and then you just get to go guarantee your Cast Bones,
which is interesting because
easy mode.
Yeah, that even gives you more freedom in deck building, right? Because you can lower your 6 count to the point where you're just like, yeah, I'm just manipulating everything.
Right. Yep. You up your blues, you lower your 6s.
Interesting. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Peace of Mind would become meta, and nobody wants that.
No, I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. No fucking Earth Brutes. But I do feel like we're getting elementals sooner rather than later because of the way that these announcements are stacked up and timed.
It's interesting though, right? Because it almost makes me wonder. Everybody knew that they were. Well, not Berserk. Crown of Seeds. Everybody knew that Crown of Seeds was pretty fucking nutty, right?
Yes.
It almost makes me wonder if it's maybe just in preparation for... I mean, obviously Crown of Seeds isn't. But maybe there's just some wacky expansion slot cards that are coming, right?
It could be.
Because, I mean, LSS and Brian in particular has said, like, we don't want you to have expectations for anything that we do, because we are going to be turning the knobs on everything. So hear me out. This is fucking crazy. Maybe in MST or the subsequent set, there's nothing stopping them from making all of the expansion slot cards a single class or a single talent type, right?
But there's no elemental heroes currently legal.
True. And that is obviously the glaring problem in my argument. But I'm merely presenting the idea of maybe something wacky like that could happen. And that's going to be happening soon. And that's why they're jumping to do these things, right?
It also could be a hero that's in the expansion slot.
Yeah. And honestly, that would be a very elegant way to feed the community new heroes for classes that have living legend previous heroes.
They are getting us used to majestic hero slots. So that does start to...
Which is something that I don't love. Let the record reflect. I don't love that. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal, especially because with most draftable sets, enough of it gets opened that it's not an expensive card. It's just maybe irritating release weekend or the
it's very irritating release weekend.
Yeah, especially if you have to have the actual card, which you have to have the actual card. But anyway, Earthbrute coming in 2025.
2024 probably. The last piece of this is the ProQuest Living Legend points went down from 4 to 3. They have said, I mean, if you read the Living Legend page, they just talk about it that this is a dynamic scale.
Mm-hmm.
We will move this knob as we feel needed. They might have thought that, that like with KO just wound up, and we have a listener question on this, so we'll touch on it then. But heroes were just gaining points too fast when they just hit the meta. It is funny with Dromai being technically at 996 points. She has the ability to do the funniest thing ever, which is win one ProQuest week 1 and be legal with 1 point remaining for week 2.
Yeah,
I don't think that's likely. But
no, especially because theoretically, right? The reason they do this is because there's going to be such a volume of events that like they need to reduce the number to, like you said, prevent light speed, living legend.
I mean, it's very hard for light speed to ever be Starvo levels, right?
Yeah. It's almost like Legends of Studios is learning as a game design company as they're producing this game that's barely 5 years old.
But if you look at like the Living Legend board, you have the Reinar Reckless Rampage has been around since WTR.
Yep, 2019.
And has
kids in the back.
Has 242 Living Legend points.
Yeah, which is
Kasai of the Golden Sand has been around for a month.
Yep.
And has 220.
Yeah. That's 22 points lower.
And 5 years less time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to be fair, how much of that is, the new shiny attractive lady with the swords that I want them to step on me?
Well, I mean, that's a ton of it, but KO has 200.
Yeah, but I mean, think of I guess not fisting potential, but like elbowing potential?
Maybe? I don't know. Where are you going with this?
I don't know. Anyway, back to the actual show.
Yeah, so I think that drop is to kind of like say, okay, slow the fuck down on some of these, because you have 2 heroes from the newest set that have 200 plus. You have another one that has over 100.
Yeah, right.
And
that's half. Well, that's more than half of the brand spanking new heroes that only have a month in the game, and they're a fifth of the way to being rotated out of the format.
So it's pump the brakes, like let's take this down. So, and you can tell that it was very targeted because they didn't change skirmish they didn't change road to nationals, because there won't be another RT until next year.
Right.
So there's no reason to move that. So start of season is when they'll change that. They'll just move the knobs as needed. There was no change to Nats or Callings or Pro Tours or Worlds or anything like that. Those are still the same. But I think they also realized that with, and this, it would actually just break my heart, but with Kasai being, that high already, and then a ProQuest season plus national season, and you have these nationals that are giving, that are not the US, that are still fairly large, giving 40 points a shot. Yeah. I mean, you start to get a little nervous.
Yeah. I mean, if she wins 40 a shot, if she wins 5 nationals, that's another 200. So she's at 300, not including then any nationals.
420.
Oh yeah, point. 420. Yeah,
plus ProQuests. So be over 500 probably pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's within 6 months of the hero releasing.
Within 3 months of the hero releasing.
Yeesh. Yep. That's not what they want.
That's not how we draw it up.
That's not what anybody wants, because that just disincentivizes anybody new from getting into the game, right?
It does, yeah. And so I think that's the why. But not to fuck up Blaze Storm's question too much, but quick hitter, the Realm. I spent a lot of time with them this weekend. And so 2024 season for the 50K invitational qualification kicks off. There are already events that are being planned. I saw one that's going out in Connecticut soon. I know there are events that are happening. I think in South America even. And so you can schedule those if you're an LGS online at realmgamingnetwork.com. But the first 5K of the season, where the top 8 all get a qualification to the 50K, is on July 20th. And that will be in Princeton, New Jersey, because New Jersey, I guess. It's a $60 early bird entry. You are running out of time. You get about 2 weeks left to get the early bird entry, or it goes up to $70. Like I said, top 8 gets a 50K invite for the end of the year. So that's $50,000. That's a lot of Ks.
Yeah,
that's a ton.
That's a lot of kisses.
That is. You're also a lot of strikeouts. You're also running out of time to be using the code FAPOD5 or FAPOD5, depending on how you view us, to get 5% off your orders at the Realm. That's going to be. It's only good through March, so it's
you've only got less than a week. Less than a week.
Few days.
Get on that.
So get on that shit if you need it. We're going to hit a couple of listener questions and then get our asses out of here. The first one is from Vintox. I talked to him today at Blaze Pizza, of all places.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. One thing. My wife is a fucking train wreck. And,
they are married to you.
Well, so we were at Blaze Pizza and she orders these fucking failure piles of build your own pizzas with a billion things on them. It's not a structurally sound pizza at that point.
Sure.
It's just a goddamn mess. And then she has,
some might call it.
It's worse because then she puts sauce on top as well, like a fucking heathen.
Hell yeah, I like your
the
wife.
the only time that is acceptable is Chicago style deep dish. That's it.
I wouldn't even argue that Chicago style deep dish is acceptable.
I mean, if you've never been to Lou Malnati's.
I'm just gonna go back to Grand Rapids and have Carol make me some spaghetti pie if I want that.
I mean, spaghetti pie is delicious. My pizza hierarchy is Detroit style is the top for me. Is my favorite pizza style.
I fucking wish there was a Jets in my town.
Oh man. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
wait, why is your wife a train wreck? Because she
orders these fucking piles. Yeah, it's not a structurally sound pizza anymore. It is just a pile of shit.
So my dad has, as long as I've known them, was always a fucking knife and fork pizza eater.
But that makes no sense.
I know it doesn't make sense, but that was
the
what
pizza
Leon
is the
was
vessel.
Doing.
The pizza is the vessel.
Pizza is the vessel for what?
To carry the rest of the shit to your mouth.
The crust is the vessel, my liege.
Well, yeah, sorry. The crust is the vessel. The vessel. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't need a utensil. You just eat it.
Technically, you don't need a utensil for anything.
It's technically true, but there's a lot of mess involved.
Anyway,
but back to this.
As Vintox was saying, your question about Teklevasen reminded me of a conversation I had with the Sam Fam at Des Moines RTN. Mech has answers to Arcane in the form of items they can find in the deck. The problem being that you don't survive long enough to find them. Our consensus was what Teklo needs is a suite of base equipment with Arcane Barrier 1 to make it competitive without being too much. Pilot would have to balance losing AB to Evo equipment transformations with finding a deck. So, what are your thoughts? So we're talking, expansion slot, we're going to drop 4 pieces of base equipment that's got AB1 printed on it and nothing else.
Yeah, that's just AB1 bases.
Huh.
And then no Evos that have AB. So just when you're going for it, you have to be real judicious about when you can.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I really like where their head's at, but I think if they're going to do that, they better fucking unban Berserk.
Oh my God. I fucking have a one-track mind.
So, I mean, I don't know. I just read this question for the first time just now. It seems like an elegant way to do it because you have a real cost benefit algorithm you have to run of how soon and how many pieces of that base you run in general, which I guess you're not losing much equity running that base over anything else. So I guess that's a bit different. Because all of the bases are just blank, right? God, it's been so long since I've looked at
block one.
Teklo cards. The Cogworks don't though, right? And those are bases.
No, the Cogworks don't. There's the proto bases, there's the Teklo bases, and then there's the Cogworks.
Okay, interesting.
The Teklo bases block one. The protos and do not. The Cogworks have abilities,
right,
and don't block.
Interesting. See, I almost think. Okay, so does this? I guess this question doesn't necessarily specify it. They could be base equipment that you could even have in your deck, right? Not just the base equipment that start on the field.
No, they'd have to start on the field.
But I guess the sentries are also base equipment that don't start on the field.
But they're actions. The other base equipment, the standard base equipment are not action cards.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So if that's the question that Vintox is proposing, it seems really fucking good. But
yeah, that seems elegant.
It also
good
seems
solution.
It seems appropriate, though, to be fair, right? I think the more likely thing is they make them actions, like
they make Evos that are AB.
The Evos that are AB, but are also bases, so you can still Dark Lord of the Robots on top of your AB at the very end when you're ready to try and kill them. But I am by no means a game designer, so
I think there's some elegance to having the AB equipment because they do take up sideboard slots.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So that's a trade-off.
I mean, that's a tale as old as 2019.
2020.
I guess that was
right?
when Arc came out. Yeah, shit, I don't know anything.
And then, so right now, I think that's the trade-off is good. And then, you do have to understand when you go for whatever you're going for. But
it begs the question, though, why that didn't exist when Teklo was released, right? Did they was LSS banking on? Yeah, Kano wouldn't be here by then, or are they just saying
no? Kano is at 294 points on the board.
Yeah, but we know how hard the devs at LSS hit the copium for certain heroes, right?
Reinar.
So yeah,
but so my thought process is they looked at Singularity and Teklo and what he can do into other matchups, and went, really think we need a natural predator for this deck, and they went like a step too far. By the natural predator for Teklo is just like an auto loss,
right?
And there's really no way to fix that matchup. It's just bad. And then since then, not even like what really since then, because of that, there are also certain decks Teklo just can't do the thing. There's a reason that currently Teklovasan Esteemed Magnate is the only hero on the Living Legend board at 0. They are taking the Azalea spot.
Yep, they got that thick goose egg down there.
They do. Even Riptide has 2 points. But fucking Olympia has points. But
yeah,
that's bad. Like I think that the coast is clear. You can go ahead and print some AB bases and be fine.
Especially because Kano's at 294 living legend points. We are not remotely close to Kano living legend.
Nope.
As much as a lot of the people of the internet would maybe wish it, but
I probably need to go and look to see how many of those 294 are just Majin Bay.
Oh my gosh, it's got to be at least a third of those points are them.
Could be. But yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I like it.
Last questions from Blaze Storm, value member of the Patreon, and I feel bad because we pretty much already covered this. But I asked, with LSS being so keen on rotating heroes, why would they drop the ProQuest season LL points from 4 to 3? Did they get scared by KO getting almost 200 points? The answer to that question, I think, is a resounding yes.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, they roll out this new brute. And they're like, yeah, this is it, you know. And to be fair, it's wonderful, elegant game design. But for it to be, 20% of the way to not legal in their flagship format's a big problem. So
yeah, that's a lot. And you have two heroes from the newest set that are already at 200 plus. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that's probably way too much. And with the next season coming, I mean, just dialing it back by a point would probably save each of them somewhere between 40 and 80 points.
Yeah.
So, and that's, a lot of times enough to give them another season. So
yeah,
I think that's it. Like personally, but we'll see. Wow. It's been an hour and 41 minutes at this point. Looks, so we've been vibing. And let's thank some patrons because they're the ones that help with our vibes. Our associate producers are Andy, Sindra, Donnie K, Jacob, Kenny, Larry, and the Salty Sea Cat. Our executive producers on up are Alex, valued member of the Patreon, Blaze Storm, Dom, Lance, good thrust. Everybody loves it. Matt, Two Tokes, Pox on Us, Trevor, Papa Mike, Philip, Rich, and Taylor. If anybody is interested in becoming a patron of Flesh and Pod, you can go to patreon.com/fleshandpod. The link is in the show notes. You will be able to, I don't fucking know. You'll be able to
do the thing.
You'll be able to do the thing, and you'll be able to listen to Fab After Dark, which is just our live show, where Greg is even more fucked up than he is on this show. So,
as hard as that may be to believe, dear listener.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
That's damn true.
I don't think I've even exposed my darkest secrets yet.
Or your penis.
Yes, that is a fact. I've not exposed that yet.
Yeah. Yet.
Yet.
But yes, we do that show usually with our friends Bryn from the Banished Zone, and then Charmer will usually call in from bed.
Yeah, phone a friend laying down on their Serta,
just next to on the Serta next to their wife, and just phoning in
like Charmer does everything.
I don't think that is fair.
No,
but
it's not. I fucking love you, Derek.
He's the best, but he's also the worst because I didn't get to see him this weekend, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, right.
Fucking American Airlines. But yeah, if you need to contact the show, you can send us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at fleshpod. You can the best thing to do is just join the Discord.
Join the
show notes.
Join the fucking Discord.
It's free. Just join. Just do the thing.
Literally.
Say hello.
Yes, and then you can get all of the pickle talk that you could literally ever want.
I have so much regret for building that channel this day.
No, you don't. Enough pro wrestling. We all know that you're a little dill bitch, okay?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, you're a little dildo.
I got comments on YouTube to what the fuck? I guess this is what happens when you leave for too long is you don't check your YouTubes and suddenly you wind up with a bunch of comments or any of these questions I need to reply to, and then the panic sets in.
We're gonna do it live. Here we go.
Oh, we always say fuck it, we'll do it live.
All right, let's see here.
Oh no, that's you talking about French onion dip, which is a fucking farce and no one should ever eat it.
Oh, it is not, you venomous whore. You take that back.
No, it's just disgusting. No one should ever eat that fucking swill.
False.
Yeah, I think we're good here.
All right.
But
so
where can they find you, Greg? Yeah, where can they find you? You know how this works. You've listened before.
In a few places. First and foremost, you can find me in the fucking Discord. Join the fucking Discord.
Join the fucking Discord.
You can also find me at charm3r.com. That's the website. I'm a little bit of an edgelord, so I put the number in there instead of the name. I'm that Charmer on Twitter, Charm3R again, because somebody's got a dead account and they just won't turn it over. In all seriousness, though, you can find me at Darth_Prentice on Twitter. GreinerProductions.com is my website. I do consultation for production of content. I do editing. I do the gamut of things for trading card games and media production in general. I've been dabbling in voiceover work. I've been doing lore narration on the Attack Action podcast. They have a lore series, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I was like, you know what? It would be way easier than me trying to build a new ship is I'll just mooch
Hop on
off
a new
the
one.
ship
Yeah.
that's already built, and I'll do the thing that for me is easy and fun, and then they'll just put it on their channel where they already have people that want to look at it anyway.
Makes it really easy.
Yeah, and
I should have really thought about that at some point.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder. That's what somebody told me once, and I was like,
too late.
You sound smart, but now I'm hard. So here we are. Join the fucking Discord. Talk to me there. Also, Demolition Crew is my favorite card in the game of Flesh and Blood because it's fucking cartoonishly silly looking. Hit me up in the Discord, and I want to talk to you about acquiring your Demolition Crews.
Really?
Yeah. I literally just sent a random human money for like 40 Demolition Crew because whenever I meet somebody, I sign a Demolition Crew and I give it to them. Because that's my card.
I have so many.
Yeah, I know. Demo Crew Fab is a YouTube channel that I also have where I think I posted something at one point. I don't really know. This is really just devolving into nothing. I do stream on Twitch once.
Shirtless.
I've done that. Shirtless, yeah, it's kind of the meme. My wife told me, like, yeah, I'm cool with you doing that as long as you like do it with your shirt off. And they also have a YouTube channel now. Whenever I post anything, they comment, why don't you have your shirt off? I fucking love my wife. And that's that. So like, subscribe, check out the Patreon. Lance Good Thrust.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I just want to be cool like you. Also, fucking Jesus Christ crucified on the cross. Derek, we got to update the photos on your website, my friend. Some of them are so hilariously old
good
and bad.
Love it.
I'm literally taking a screen grab right now from your website and I'm going to drop it in the fucking Discord. This is the best radio right here. This is going in the Discord in the, I don't know, the patron channel, I guess.
This is what happens when you give Greg a hot mic.
It's true. Stupid shit happens when you give me a hot mic. This is a little taster of what you might get on After Fap Dark.
Fap After Dark.
Fap After Dark.
Fap After Dark.
Fap After Dark. Fap After Dark. The papata.
And there it is. It's going in the Discord.
There it is, right there. It's in the Discord.
If you want to see what this is this the one where he's leaning seductively?
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
God's damn it, yeah, it is.
Oh, there's a great one right there. It's just I don't even know what to do with that.
It's wild because it doesn't even look like Derek to me.
It doesn't.
That does not look like them.
This really doesn't.
Not them. I don't know who this is that's on their website. That's not them.
No, that's Derek.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I can go to their LinkedIn.
Okay, we're leaving this now. All right, well, that's our show for this week, everybody. Thank you for listening for the 121st goddamn week in a row.
121.
See you for 122. Bye.